The art of goal scoring isn't one to be underestimated. Becoming a top striker is one of the toughest and therefore most celebrated roles in football, which also makes it one of the most intriguing. In the age of the lone frontman, the centre forward requires a very unique kind of character. Someone willing to shoulder the burden of the team's goal-scoring fortunes, selfless enough to be the focal point of their team's attacks, but above all else, be utterly obsessed with hitting the back of the net. Football is always about being ahead of the curve and searching for the next big thing, and at 6'4", they don't come much bigger than Erling Braut Haaland. But after securing a high-profile move from Red Bull Salzburg to Borussia Dortmund in the January transfer window, the next big thing has already announced himself. And in some style too. Hitting a hat-trick off the bench in just half an hour on his debut for the club, and then getting another 2, again off the bench, to take him to 5 goals scored in 59 minutes. Outrageous.
Done his own hat-trick! Oh, what a debut for Erling Haaland!
The son of Norwegian international Alf-Inge Haaland was actually born in Leeds back in 2000, where his father was playing at the time. Football's greatest prospect, a Yorkshireman. Who'd have thunk it? It's not often that second-generation footballers go on to even live up to their famous fathers. But at the ripe old age of 19, with a big money move to one of the European powerhouses under his belt and the world seemingly at his feet, it wouldn't be unfair to suggest that Erling has already eclipsed the career of his old man. Constant links to Manchester United were inevitable given his overwhelming talent and the Reds' desperate need for more firepower. But given that his father's allegiances saw him grow up as both a Leeds and Manchester City fan, and Roy Keane's attempted hit and run on his dad, it came as no huge surprise that Haaland instead opted to join the young talented squad of Borussia Dortmund.
They just went direct and said, yeah, we need you up at front, and we like your playing style, and we want to have you here. And I liked how they spoke to me then, and that's what triggered me.
Good news for everyone at BVB besides maybe Paco Alcácer. But what is it about the Norwegian that made him such a sought-after prospect? A powerful, quick, rangy frontman, Haaland is already no stranger to finding the goal, netting regularly in Norway and Austria's top divisions before making the switch to the Bundesliga. Known affectionately by former Molde teammates as the man-child. I'm sure we don't need to explain that one. Haaland's prowess for goals seems one of a more seasoned pro, despite his career still being in its infancy. It was fellow countryman Ole Gunnar Solskjaer who recognised that talent at an early age, bringing the then 16-year-old to Molde in January 2017. And with the baby-faced assassin moniker already taken by Solskjaer himself, the man-child was born. With 16 goals in his first and only full season at the club, it stands to reason that just a few years down the line, Solskjaer was keen to secure his signature again at United.
Håland chose to go to Molde ahead of some of the bigger sides in Europe. It was rumored that, for example, Juventus back then as well wanted to get him from Bryne. He decided to go to Molde because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there and because he was being sort of touted as the next big thing in Norway, and that it would be a natural step for him to play in the top division in Norway before taking another step out into Europe. It was something like we had never seen in Norway, especially since I believe if you want to compare him to someone we have seen in Norway, it was a little bit like John Carew.
A move to Salzburg followed, where the youngster went from strength to strength. Before his January move to Dortmund, Haaland had already notched 28 times in 22 games this season, including an incredible 4 hat-tricks. Haaland joked that he had 5 hat-trick balls in total which he sleeps with in his bed, referring to them as his girlfriends. No judgment in this end, it is 2020 after all, but with one Bundesliga girlfriend already, bunk beds might be the way to go moving forward. It's that unwavering obsession with goal scoring that sets strikers like Haaland apart. The kind of obsession that will lead you to declaring the Champions League theme tune as your favourite song. The teenager was caught psyching himself up by blasting out the iconic anthem in his car, ahead of his debut in the competition this season at home to Genk. The outcome? A 6-2 Salzburg victory and a hat-trick for the youngster, matching Wayne Rooney's achievement of 2004.
It was very clear that he wanted to take the correct step once he left Molde, and going to sides such as Salzburg just seemed perfect at the time. And again, what we've seen and what he delivered in terms of his goals and also his link-up play and how he developed as a player just shows that he's able to make those right moves in regards to his career.
And at international level, things are looking up too. Between Haaland and Martin Odegaard, the future of Norway looks bright, with the nation on the brink of a first international tournament appearance in 20 years.
What we've seen now from the Norwegian national team is that there are certain glimpses of greatness there. And for a national team and for a country that hasn't played in any sort of major tournament since Euro 2000, it's about damn time.
Now, it might be a bit early to make predictions of him becoming his country's all-time top goal scorer, but with a mere 33 goals standing in his way, we certainly wouldn't be betting against it.
So I think that with losing Foude and a Dortmund team and Dortmund, I suppose, staff were able to grow and create world superstars, which they've shown several times. He'll only get better, and I think that already now he's able to challenge for a spot in the starting lineup. And I think for a team that lacks a clear number 9, he's absolutely perfect for their side.
A snip at just £22 million, Dortmund players have already expressed their joy at Haaland's signature. Marco Reus has suggested the club haven't had a striker in this mould since Lewandowski, but it's Zlatan who most parallels have been drawn with. Tall, Scandinavian, confident, keen eye for goal, and a golden goose for Mino Raiola. Personally, we can't see the similarities. With 537 career goals under his belt and counting, Ibrahimovic has set some pretty lofty targets for the young Norwegian, but it's a challenge he'll embrace to live up to his idol. Haaland did after all once hit 9 goals in a game at the Under-20 World Cup, before bemoaning the fact that he missed a chance for his 10th. Sometimes you've just got to settle for 9, Erling. If Haaland is to be the heir to the mercurial Zlatan's throne, then strap in, there's quite the ride ahead. Is he the next Ibra? Who knows? But right now, he's the only Erling Haaland, and that in itself is a pretty exciting proposition.
They wanted to see him. They wanted to see what he's got. Well, he's got a hat-trick on his debut. That's what he has. Martin Schmidt's side did everything right, but they hadn't reckoned with the impact that Erling Haaland would have as Dortmund staged one of the most thrilling comebacks of the season.